Welcome to the fourth and final episode of our Healthy Living podcasts, brought to you by Balancing Life's Issues in partnership with CalCPA Health. I'm Dianne Pulleyblank. I am an exercise physiologist, been in the health and wellness field for a very, very long time. Previously, we looked at how to develop and sustain healthy habits, how movement actually is medicine, and being your own health advocate. So today we're going to explore what it means to live well. Let's face it, over the course of a lifetime, things happen. With luck, we get to live a long life, which doesn't mean the road is smooth. Along with those, slings and arrows of our daily lives, there are the curveballs, the unexpected, and the very often unwanted. And yet, here we are. So how do you keep going and even thrive as we navigate life's ups and downs? Maya Angelou had this to say: "My goal in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive, and to do so with some passion, some compassion, some humor, and some style." So let's look at how to thrive after an illness, through aging, and across those life transitions. You can think of this kind of like a roadmap to helping you be more resilient. Now, everyone experiences setbacks in life, and they can be especially challenging when they're health-related. Whether from a serious medical diagnosis, an injury, or a mental health condition, they take a toll on our physical and emotional well-being, both the patient and their loved ones. Daily routines, future plans are often disrupted. So how do you stay hopeful and build a mindset for healing and growth? While many emotions are going to bubble up, fear, frustration, grief, uncertainty, these setbacks are often not an ending, but rather a start of a new chapter, a new journey, even a new beginning. Your mindset sets the stage for the future. How we think shapes how we recover after a health setback. A growth mindset says, what can I do today that moves me forward? And what about success? Redefine it. It might mean being able to garden again, not necessarily that you're going to be able to run another marathon. And then surround yourself with what are called growth voices, all right? These are people and stories and media that inspire possibility and positivity. So growth mindset isn't about denying pain or pretending that everything is just fine. It's about believing you still have chapters left to write. It's about hope. Science of optimism says that hopeful thinking improves resilience and immune response and problem solving. I'm just going to give a little caution here. Optimism is great, but especially in health recovery, it needs to be realistic optimism. Not pretending it's easy, but believing it's possible. All right, now what about aging? I hear it a lot. Oh, I want to live a long life, but I don't want to get old. Well, they kind of go together. So when you think about getting older, what are your thoughts? We're surrounded by myths and misconceptions about aging that can discourage healthy habits and just limit what we believe is possible. So let's look at some of this and debunk them. Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare published research on some of the biggest myths about aging. So let's look at those. First of all, aging means the end of cognitive development. Well, in truth, cognitive development continues throughout life. You are constantly learning. And according to a National Institute of Health study, pursuing new interests that stimulate the brain help to improve your memory. Keeping your mind active and working on learning new skills as you age helps you develop what's called a cognitive reserve. And this allows the brain to become more adaptable and potentially compensate for what very well may be age-related memory challenges in the future. So consider taking up a new hobby, maybe learning a new language, gardening, cooking, photography, or even mindful meditation, anything to stimulate your brain and bring joy to your daily routine. And then the next one says, when you get older, you will inevitably experience dementia or another memory disorder. This is one of the biggest fears that people have. Mild forgetfulness is to be expected as we age. And occasionally misplacing your keys or mixing up appointments on your calendar does not mean you have a memory loss disorder. Continuing to stimulate your brain with new activities as you grow older can really help you in your efforts to stay sharp. Pursuing interests like reading, especially if you're reading kind of those harder things to read, like maybe something more academic or something that has been translated. Excellent things. Or maybe painting or playing games like Sudoku or chess, or doing things like Wordle in the New York Times. Listening to and playing music can really help to keep the mind active. And then the next one that they discuss is depression is normal and should be expected. So many of us assume that the isolation and loneliness that is often coupled with growing older means that older people automatically suffer from depression as they age. Now, in reality, studies show that older adults are actually less likely to be depressed than younger adults. Isn't that interesting? Though depression can, of course, occur in senior citizens, they're also more likely to benefit from having long-lasting personal relationships, as well as having great happy memories from their lives to bring them more and more joy. And then the next myth is you don't need as much sleep as you age. Now, although older people are more likely to go to bed earlier and wake up earlier than their younger counterparts, we all still require 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night, just like any other adult. And older adults can't build muscle or improve fitness and should avoid strenuous exercise. What a great myth, huh? Physical activity can support both physical and mental health, helping to stave off health problems like obesity and diabetes, boost serotonin, boost dopamine, boost endorphins. Finding exercise routines that work within your comfort zone can keep your body and mind in the best shape as we get older. Making exercise a part of your regular routine really does improve physical health, and it keeps you feeling much more independent. And then the last one that they talk about is, you know what? It's just too late. It's too late to change habits. But you know what? Quitting smoking, improving diet, exercising bring benefits at any age. I don't care if you're 20 or you're 100. You can change your habits. And anyone can develop good habits no matter what their age. So what does it matter if these myths keep on going, right? Research shows that people with positive views of aging live an average of 7.5 years longer than those who are negative. And then there's that whole thing about self-fulfilling prophecy. If you expect decline, you're less likely to make choices that maintain your health. It's the old, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So let's look at two things that are absolutely essential for a happy, healthy life as we get older. Financial wellness and social wellness. And you know what? They actually work really, really well together. So when I say financial wellness, I'm not talking about being rich. I'm talking about security. Knowing that you can pay your bills without having to hold your breath and hope that you've got enough in your account. And choice. Being able to decide where you live, how you spend your time, and what care you get to receive. And all that adds up to less stress. And you know what? It matters more as we age because we're living longer, sometimes decades longer than our grandparents. And you know, healthcare and expenses, you know what? They don't go on sale after age 65. It'd be really nice if Medicare would say, oh yes, you know, buy one hip replacement and you get one for free. It just doesn't work that way. And then financial security allows independence, meaning you decide if you want to downsize, to travel, or go to a fancy restaurant. So here are some practical tips. Create a realistic monthly budget. And don't forget to budget in for fun times too. And keep an emergency fund, because you never know when you're going to need some fast money. And then scams. Scams are out there, and they're targeting older adults every single day, and they're different, and they are really scary. So learn about them. If the email says, you've won the lottery, and you never ever bought a ticket, just delete it. If you don't know who it's from, delete, delete, delete. And plan ahead for healthcare and end-of-life costs to reduce your family stress. And then there's social wellness. So social wellness is all about connection and purpose and joy. All right. And why does this matter? Well, studies show people with strong social connections live longer, have sharper minds, and a lower risk of depression. Our friends keep us active, whether it's walking in the park, walking to the bakery together, having a nice conversation, whatever it is, they keep us active. Social ties give our lives meaning, because laughter and shared stories are just as important as anything else you do for your health. So some practical tips. First of all, keep in touch. Keep in touch with old friends. Send a text, write a card, meet for coffee, make a phone call, or join groups. Because, often as we age, we lose our friends, right? Because unfortunately, they pass away. Sometimes we need to join a group to meet new people, all right? Clubs, maybe volunteer, maybe your faith community, exercise classes, whatever, join a group. And then use technology for good. Video chats, online courses, hobby groups. There's so many things you can access for free online. Combine physical and social activity. All right? Get your friends, do something, take a dance class, join a walking group, learn to play pickleball, something, whatever. And then here's the thing, money and friends work best together. Because financial stability makes it easier to do social things, to travel, to join activities, or just simply to go out for lunch. And social connections help us financially through advice, shared resources, and emotional support. But both lower stress, both keep you healthier, and both just make life more fun. Think of it this way. Money buys the ticket, but friends make the trip worth it. All right. Here's the bottom line. Review your finances. Make a plan that gives you freedom and peace of mind, and invest in your relationships, friends, family, neighbors, community. And because when you have both dollars and friends, you're not just adding years to your life. You're adding life to your years, as cliched as that may sound. And I don't think any discussion on living well is complete without talking about clean living. A great resource is the Environmental Working Group. That's ewg.org. Here you can find wonderful information on food, lighting options, cleaning supplies, ventilation. So what does clean living mean? Well, when it comes down to it, clean living is simply a lifestyle focused on leading a healthy and natural life. It's about being mindful of the products you use, the food you eat, the materials you surround yourself with, making sure they're as safe and as natural as possible. What about clean living in your environment? What can you do to promote a clean lifestyle in your home? First of all, declutter. Get rid of junk. Get it out of the house. Donate it. Throw it out. Give it away. Just take a look around you and see what you don't need. And then, cleaning products. Again, check out ewg.org for information on what are clean cleaning products. So many commercial cleaning products contain harsh chemicals and toxins that you breathe in when you're using them, and then your family gets affected too. So check the ingredients and know what you're using. And then indoor plants. Because indoor air pollutants have been ranked as one of the top 5 environmental risks to public health. There is a thing called sick building syndrome, which is living and working in enclosed spaces that do not have adequate fresh air and ventilation. And that can cause dizziness, headaches, nausea, respiratory infections. So it is great that plants are wonderful air purifiers. And on top of that, they look pretty and they make you smile. All you have to do is remember to water them. Some of the best plants for air purification are, spider plants, ficus, Boston ferns, peace lilies, aloe vera. And aloe vera is also great because you can use it for its medicinal properties also. If you have a burn or a cut, you can just cut a little piece off of your aloe vera plant and put it right on. And it is fabulous. And if you want, you can always invest in an air purifier. It's up to you. Your home can be sweet and clean if you want it to be. So this brings us to the end of our Healthy Living podcasts. We explored a lot of ideas and concepts. So now what? Can you create a wellness plan which takes into account some of the things we discussed? What is one thing you can do today to up your health game? So thank you for listening to this podcast brought to you by Balancing Life's Issues in partnership with CalCPA Health. I'm Dianne Pulleyblank, wishing you happy, healthy living.